Hi there, welcome to Made by an Art. My name is Anna. I live in Sweden and I make junk journals out of old books and mostly repurposed sources. Today I am here with a flip through of this big grungy journal that I recently finished. It is made out of a repurposed book that was originally published in 1929. I have been restoring it from the inside out with fabric. Of course, the spine was not entirely, it had some breaks and some wear and tear and so on. So I reinforced it both on the inside and the outside. I have put on the cover, this is an old masterpiece painting. I can't remember who the artist was, but I love this young lady and her dog, and she had a nice green ribbon in her hair, which matches the cover quite well. And I backed her onto a piece of Tim Holtz backdrops, they're called. And I have put some gold around the edge of that. She is also backed on some cardstock. So this is a bit of collage, a bit of a label there, and their fabric spine is made out of an old linen dish something. Anyway, I have put a doily here, and this is a cut out of a tablecloth, table runner, and on the back it looks like this. It's I have some labels down here as well, and this is the rest of the doily and the table runner. This book is big. It's very big. I measured it before, and it is 12.5 inch this way and 9.25 this way. The spine is 3/4 of an inch, so it's not so thick, but it's big size-wise. I have sewn the signatures in with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, and it has a hidden hollow back spine. It has 5 signatures, and the total of pages is 140, plus a lot of flip outs. So, but 440 is sewn into the spine. So let's begin. This book was originally a one of those, books about the culture and the Swedish culture, and the association that wanted to highlight this. They bought old estates and old houses and made them open for public to cherish and to save and educate about Swedish genuine culture and traditions. So it was almost only photos, black and white photos. I have reused some of the pages because the quality of the paper was quite good. Anyway, this book was made almost entirely on camera, so you can watch the process here on my channel. If you have watched it, you know that I debated whether I wanted any papers or not, because I wanted to keep this dedication here. I thought it was cool. I decided to have end papers, but I made a cutout for the for this, so it was left intact. I have also sewed on some lace here for a lace pocket, and inside it is a big journaling card that I made. It's actually a picture from a book about trees, and this is a oak tree, and I put a little label down there, sewed around it, and I have backed it on. I believe this is actually a thick flyleaf from another old book. I usually reuse all the pages and all the papers from the books, that I cut apart, because I think there is much more than just the covers. Anyway, the end papers are made out of one of those big Pepin Press books with wrapping papers, and I thought this was grungy and nice and old and matches the feel of the book. Here is a fussy cat that came from here and a lovely lady going to a wedding in her finest outfit. A little label there and another one there that says one way. And as I said, the book was published in 1929, and this is the original first page. Here is some ledger paper. I love using my ledger papers, especially in my big books, because I have tons and tons of big empty ledgers. Here I have sewn on a page from a book about butterflies, and that I thought was quite cool. And that I received in Happy Mail, so I don't know really how old it is. This is a page from the original book, and here you can see what I mean with the black and white photos. This I glued down a piece. This is part of the old spine lining fabric. I folded a circle punch around the edge of it, and I made a hole and put an eyelet in. So you can hang something up there if you like. So there are lots of images of old traditional Swedish houses and things like that in this book. This is part of an old notebook that I found thrifting. This is actually from a ledger, but the paper that was wrapped around it. And it was lovely and grungy, so I used it in this book. You can't make a junk journal without a little Edith, so I put some Edith Holland pages in here. And here I have sewn a pocket on. The pocket is made out of a collage masterboard that I made, and I put on a calendar from 1929 because that was the year when the book was published. So it's another reminder of that. And this is a genuine old postcard. I have no idea how old it is. Carte postale, but it is it's old. Vintage. And everywhere I have sewn, I have knotted the threads, and I have left the threads dangling because that's how I like it. If you don't buy this book and you don't like it, you can cut the threads off because they are already knotted. In the center here is some tea-dye pages. This is the other part of that wrap around the ledger. I have put some genuine old tickets there and I sewed them on. This is some faux cellophane tape that I made and mended that a bit because it's a bit fragile at the end, at the edges, the fold there. The photos they're not quite black and white, they're more sepia toned actually. Now that I see them next to the pages. Here I had a bit of a fun. Here is a fussy cat I made out of a small book with quotes about dogs. And these two ladies are obviously struggling holding this Great Dane. And he's running towards something, and I believe in that little peekaboo there is a rabbit or a hare, and he wants to chase that. And I thought it was quite fun. This is a fly leaf from an old book that I hinged together with another page. I love the grunginess of that. Here's more pages from the original book. More tea-dye papers with some stamping this side up. This is a page from another book can't remember how old it is though. More ledger. This I found from one of those big books where you have, it was traditional many years ago here to buy, especially when men turned 50, they got a book that was a bit of everything from every year that they lived. So when you turned 50 in 1950, the book started in 1900 and went to 1950. And every page had one of those pre-pages. And because the book is from 1929, I took the 1929 page. Some music paper. Another one of those collaged pockets. This one has a little owl in a frame peeking out there. And it says Le Petit Journal. And if it's one thing that this book isn't, it's small. So a bit ironic. Inside there is a funny looking journaling card. This is actually a picture that was on the front of a pocketbook. And it's supposed to be in a locket. And I cut it out because I thought it would be a fun journaling card. I inked the edges a bit as well. And in the center is a bit of a couple of ferns. And this is from a very big book about flowers in the north of Sweden. Here is a page from a book from 1919 about the ancient history of the world. And it has some glassine paper on it, and I decided to keep it because I thought it was a nice touch. And this is a painting of an old stone coffin found in Crete, in Greece. More ledger, and as you see, numbers up on top of it, and that I love. I have done here and there some stenciling on the tea-dyed papers for stamping. And this looks almost, I don't know if you can see it, but it almost looks embossed. I put some lace table runners on them when I wanted them to dry, and I hope that it will be, you know, lace patterned, but the only thing that happened was that it got kind of embossed by the lace. That's cool. If you wonder what the sound is in the background, it is my husband who is changing the tires on our cars, because winter is coming here and we want to have better tires on our cars. Anyway, more pages from the original book, and this flip out is no one else but Jenny Lind, which was a very famous Swedish singer at the turn of the century, 18 to 1900. She was very beautiful, and I did a bit of collaging and put a whale tail tab there. More tea-dye paper, pages from the original book. Here is a lace, no lace, I have sewn on some fabric and a bit of Tim Holtz ephemera there. This is a page from a book about Leonardo da Vinci, and on it I have sewn this is an old pillowcase, and I have tea-dyed it and also splattered it with some alcohol ink, but the embroideries are genuine and I love them. Inside I made a little journaling card, and I did a bit of collaging there on the tab. On the back side there I have put some tea-dyed paper, and there is Greta Garbo and a small Swedish stamp. This is a genuine stamp. Here are some pages from a 1974 book about birds. More ledger. This is some pages from a book about our Queen Victoria. folio from a book about her. 1923 is published. This is some pages from a old book about, you know, one of those books where you can fill in about your family and your weddings and your children and so on. And on this page I have glued down a picture of Stina Bergman. She was the wife of Hjalmar Bergman, which is was a quite famous Swedish writer. He wrote lots and lots of books, and she supported him. She was his secretary mostly, and she also had quite the talent for writing, but she put him first, all their marriage, and then he died quite young, and then her career began. She wrote some mostly plays and scripts for films in the 30s, 40s, and she became almost more famous than him actually, and she was one of the first bosses, female bosses on the Swedish film industry and so on. So I thought it was cool that she is so big and he is so small. This is a small journaling card also that I just clipped on. So you can look her up, Stina Bergman. Maybe I will write that down there in pencil. So if you're interested, you can look it up. More pages from the book about Victoria. And ledger. The back of that bird book. This is pages from an old newspaper clippings book that I found thrifting that was blank. It was unused, totally unused, and I love the red frames around it, and I love the holes on the edge, so I put that there. Here is the rest of the pillowcase, and that is glued onto this, which is a pocket from a old home archive that I found thrifting, and then this is so cool. There are advertisements on the front and back, and this is very local as well, Jönköping. And in here I put some old papers for you to use on your journal. This is some stenography paper, and there will be lots and lots of book pages in there as well. And this is just clipped together with a paper clip with some fabric on it. But I love to be able to use these big pockets. They're a bit bulky, but quite lovely. More pages from the original book, and this is from Gränna, which is a small city quite close to where I live, where I actually went to school. It's a very cute little town. And this is from Huskvarna, which also I lived quite in the middle between Gränna and Huskvarna when I was a kid. So for me, this is local history as well. Some more tea-dyed paper with stenciling. More pages from the original book, and here I sewed this cool page out of a book. What was he called? He was called Henkel. He did lots of those paintings which are like art forms in nature, and this is from a Taschen book that I bought recently, and I backed it with some tea-dyed bullet journal paper and sewed it onto fabric, and then I glued down the fabric. And this is some extra journaling space and something nice to look at. More ledger. This is from the 1920s. Here is a page from another book, one of those where you have magazines for a whole year that is bound together. This is a piece of an old map that I had in my stash, and on the back side there is a bit of collaging. More from the original spine. Some stamping, some stickers, and this is a picture of his name was Berlin, and he was one of the inventors of the gramophone, and this is his grandkid. And this was from 1923 in the same book where I got the little calendar from. Some lined paper, and as you can see it is very grungy and yellowed, so it had to go in here. This is another page from the book about Leonardo da Vinci. It's from 2005, and I have Frankensteined it so it fills out the whole page. The center there, more journaling space. You can see that old map is really grungy. And more ledger. Here is a very old envelope, and it has quite yellowed in the edges. And I have chosen not to do anything to this because I think you should have some space to do some fun things as well. Inside it there is a tag I made out of some collaged paper and stamping. On the back there I have glued down the envelope. This is the last piece of the spine of the book. It says confidential, and that is a small girl, and that is me when I was a kid. And inside it I have tucked a small note that was written on, put in one of the books, a book about Victoria, Queen Victoria. It was put in, and I put it there. A bit of stamping with some mushrooms and a small snail. Here is some fabric that he dyed, and another one of those circular, this is a Tim Holtz ephemera actually that I folded around, and I punched a hole in it, and you can hang something up there if you like. More tea-dye paper, more ledger paper, and this little journal card is just clipped on, and it's a part of an old Edith Holland book, and there is journaling space inside. This is from an 1895 dictionary, or not dictionary, encyclopedia. This is from a very, very old music book, and I received it in Happy Mail, so I have no idea how old it is, but it is quite old. Here's some Beatrix Potter, and in the center here is another page from that old book about world history of the world, and this is a page, a map of the Greek world about 433 before Christ, and there was some glacine paper there, and I thought it can stay there, so you can do whatever you like with it. And this is Lilian Nordica. She was a very famous opera singer, and of course she has to be a pocket on the music page. And this is a letter from the book about her that I could cut this out of, and I grunged it up a bit and put it in here. Here is a little wheelchair tab, and if you open this, here is some avocados dyed splattered pages, which you can extra journaling space. And this flip-flop, I got the idea from dear Julie here on YouTube. She doesn't do it exactly the same, but the idea came from her. More stamping on this page, and we have reached the back of the book. So this big grungy journal will be available in my Etsy store, so keep an eye open for it if you're interested in it. It was so much fun to make. I had a comment, I believe it was from Carol. She said, "You're having too much fun, Anna," because I have had so much fun making this book. I had so much ideas, and I went all in here, totally out of my comfort zone many times, and I'm very pleased with the result. I love the cover, and I love the book itself. It's so much fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this flip through. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe make a comment down below what you liked about it. and I wish you all a great rest of the weekend. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.